Hey everyone, this is TikTok2220 again. As I posted on my YouTube channel about, probably say about now like an hour ago, I was kind of thinking of doing a 15-minute walkthrough version of SpongeBob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom. So since YouTube now is giving us 15 minutes, the goal we'll have for part 1 is pay for all the shiny object doors and the golden spatula doors in SpongeBob's house, and the golden spatula door in SpongeBob's house, and do everything in the first part of Bikini Bottom, like, talking to everyone, getting the socks, the shiny objects, and the spatulas, and then do Jellyfish Fields at the least to where the hammer gets introduced, or at the most to the next part of Jellyfish Fields, which is Jellyfish Caves, as well as get everything in the first part of Jellyfish Fields for this video today. And then, I noticed, some YouTubers have been saying some bad words in, like, during this walkthrough because of stuff not happening their way. So the real bad word that I'm gonna use is like, dang it. So the stuff I just told you what was gonna be the goal for this video, which is pay for all the shiny object doors and the golden spatula door in SpongeBob's house, as well as get the sock before the spatula. And by the way, I forgot to tell you that when you get a golden spatula, it saves the game. So, and then do everything in the first part of Bikini Bottom, like, talking to everyone, getting the socks and the shiny objects and the spatulas, and then do Jellyfish Fields up to at the least where the hammer gets introduced, and at the most where at the least where the hammer gets introduced. Up until there, the camera should be at 30. We have to do everything. We have to do all of that at the very least when the camera reaches 1330, because that's my YouTube limit to keep it safe to be on YouTube. Like, we have to do all those 3 things at the very least when the camera reaches 1330. So like I said, you notice how YouTubers have been saying some bad words when they were doing this walkthrough of this game? The only real bad word I'm going to use is dang it. And I told you, when you get a golden spatula, it saves the game. And then, the way we'll be doing, so I think we should start it. I think we should start it about now, because it's at 3:55. So the file we're gonna do it in is this top one. And then you're gonna watch all the clips and listen to the discussions too.
Welcome to Bikini Bottom.
So the method we're going to use with the shiny objects and the spatulas, and also the socks, is with the shiny objects. So the method we're going to use for this walkthrough is with the shiny objects. We're going to pay all the clams before we pay Mr. Krabs. And for the spatulas, we're going to get the requirement for the taxis. We're going to get the requirement for the for the places. And whenever we reach that number, we're going to stop in the place to do the new place. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, when we reach 5 spatulas, that's the requirement for downtown Bikini Bottom. And that's the requirement for downtown Bikini Bottom. So we'll stop in Jellyfish Fields because we're going to be at that spatula number. So we could do downtown Bikini Bottom because we'll have the requirement to do it, which is 5 spatulas. So whenever we reach the requirement for a taxi place, we're gonna stop on that spatula wise so we could do the new place.
Another perfect day playing robots.
Do you understand the way I'm talking about here? If so, that's the way we're gonna do it spatula wise during this walkthrough. And then I'll explain about the socks in just a second, because listen to this.
Real robots are getting boring.
Right here.
What if we put the robots in here?
Oh, how shellfish of you.
Do you get it?
It's not just any shell. It's my magic wishing shell.
Wow, that's great, Patrick.
So we put the toy
So now since we figured out,
Okay.
since I told you what we're gonna do method-wise for shiny objects and spatulas, for the socks, we're gonna collect all the socks in the game before we pay Patrick.
Aren't we going to say the magic wishing
Because there are 80 socks in the game, so we're gonna collect all 80 before we pay Patrick. You get that? And like I said, our YouTube limit time is 13:30 just to be safe. So with these watching clips and listening to these discussions, we're going to try to get all 3 of those things done to at the very least part I told you because of how much time is left.
Patrick, I proclaim that tomorrow is going to be the best day ever.
Like, you know, by 13 minutes and 30 on the camera, like, you know, in 6 minutes, we should pay for all the shiny object doors and the golden spatula door in SpongeBob's house,
Gary, did you do that?
as well as get the sock in the attic, and then do everything in the first part of Bikini Bottom, talking to everyone, getting the socks, getting the shiny objects, and the
Gary,
spatulas.
It sure looks like we're in a doozy
And
of a pickle.
hang on.
I think I'm going to have to learn a lot in order to fix this mess.
See? If you see a long discussion, when we see a long discussion, I'm gonna follow it with my eyes, and when you see it ends the discussion, that's when I'm gonna push A, and that's for the full walkthrough. When you see the dialogue boxes have to go into 2 things, like 2 parts of it, like this beginning one did. But anyways, the third thing is do Jellyfish Fields up to at the least where the hammer gets introduced. So up to there with these 3 things, within the 4 minutes and 45 we have left, that's going to be our goal. But the biggest limit we're going to do, shooting wise, is 14 minutes. So the limit I'd like to make is 13 and a half. But in case if we're doing good in the place and you realize we're not and you realize that the timer is maybe a little higher than our limit, the biggest limit we're going to shoot for is 14 minutes. And we're going to listen to these discussions completely.
What a fantastic idea! These signs will provide important tips to help me out.
Now, do you see how I'm letting you guys listen to these discussions? When it comes to reading these signs will be the parts that we skip. But I'll let you guys listen to the discussions, like you're hearing with SpongeBob and Gary right now.
How do I read the signs?
And the answer to that is pulling the R trigger.
Oh, okay. Press this button to read the
See?
signs.
So depending on how good we're doing, I say at the least we might be at the part 2 after talking to Squidward in Jellyfish Fields, but I could be wrong.
So if I want to come back and talk to you again,
But
just
according
walk up
to
you
the
and
time-
press this button. I'd better get started now, Gary. I think that this is going to be a very long day.
But according to the time we have left before our limit, my least goal is to try and do it to after where we talk with Squidward and Jellyfish Fields. But the goal is to try and do it where the hammer gets introduced, like stopping wise. And then my best goal is to try and get to the next part of Jellyfish Fields, which is Jellyfish Caves, by 13.5 minutes. Or at the very most, 14. So see, now the discussion finished. So now we'll come over to this TV.
Breaking news! Bikini Bottom residents have been attacked by a raging torrent of robot horror!
So it seems like for this part we're gonna be basically in SpongeBob's house, and I think by part 2 we're gonna do all these things. So I think probably after this we're gonna after this discussion we're gonna stop the video, and we're gonna in the next video we'll collect something that I'll tell you a little later, and also explain, also like show you the way that we do it, and we'll constantly be saving because of how much stuff we'll get for whatever thing. Like say for example, if we got a hard sock, that's one example where we'll save the game. And remind me the slot is SpongeBob 00, because that's the file we're doing it in.
So much for fixing this quietly.
Now, do you hear SpongeBob talking right here? This is gonna only happen the first time you come over to the TV.
Authorities are not sure who is responsible for unleashing the mechanical menaces, but they have assured us that the person is in big, big trouble.
See, I just did it again with the dialogue.
Uh-oh.
See? That's number 2 when you hear SpongeBob.
Did I say big trouble? I meant so enormous that it's hard to comprehend trouble. We'll keep you posted as this tragic story unfolds. Tragically, we're sure.
Okay, so I think because it reached our limit, we're gonna come to this room and stop the part here. Because it reached our limit. So yeah, most likely in this video we didn't do a lot. I explained to you about our method, what we're gonna use during the walkthrough, and we just only talked with Gary and we watched the TV in SpongeBob's house, and we didn't make our goal because our time was is already at 14 minutes and 15, but in the next video that'll be our goal. What I told you what was going to be our goal for this video. And I also explained to you about the method of the spatulas, shiny objects, and socks that we're going to use. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you in the beginning of the video, when you start the game, you start out with 3 pairs of underwear. So yeah, we'll try and make our goal that I said we were going to make in this video in the next video. So yeah, that'll end it for part 1, and I'll see you guys in part 2.